All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down, do a live for you guys and gals. Current events going to be current events about the channel. Make sure the volume's good here. And let's talk about this. All right, Pepper, if you could give me a like there, I would appreciate it. So, a few things going on, and I feel like the last couple of days have been really intense with the other stuff. I'm not going to want to talk about that stuff today. Any of the abuse survivor stuff, guys, I'm going to leave it alone. That's very, very emotionally taxing topic for me. Then it does take a toll for me to talk about that. It's not easy to do. So instead, I think I want to talk about kind of what's going on with my training, what's going on with the channel. Super happy, like I'm trying to get a bunch of coaching slots because it got really slow and it's actually working. I'm going to keep running slots, but yeah, I just filled one Sunday. Just got an application today. The guy just paid. So I'm going to keep running them for a bit of the 200. At this point, I just want more clients. I wouldn't mind the business. And I'm kind of returning to the strategy to where my coaching business was at its best on this channel. That's when I was doing the client vlogs. I was really focusing a lot on strength, but I was getting decently lean at that time, right? Back when I was competing again a little bit, that was actually my best, absolute best coaching business ever. Like when I was running the 7 or 8 client vlogs a week, my coaching was making actually great money. And I'm not going to go into specifics because people think I'm lying. I'm just going to say it was really good. Like those were the golden years. So it's kind of like we've had this economy's not been good. I'm going to kind of return to some of that, but we're going to keep getting leaner, keep getting stronger. I'm going to do the vlogs again. It's going to be a little bit of client outreach stuff. But strength is coming back up. And honestly, I need to check notes, but at the body weight I'm at, my lifts in the last week I've been really happy with them. We hit a 500 squat with just a belt. Guys, I'm weighing in under 220. Like this is not water cuts. I'm walking around like this morning. I weighed in at 217 on the dot. With the carbs lower, that's dropping a little bit. But look at what I deadlifted today. That's the most I've ever hit before. I don't think I've ever got more than 4 with 550 on camera. I've done it at least once before. But now I just hit 4 reps with it. And they were clean, solid reps with 550 today. I hit a 500 back squat pretty easy on Friday. We got a pause bench this week, 325 for a triple with no wraps, no belt, right? Just straight up raw, you know. But the thing is, and it's not that I haven't done a little better than that before, but I was also like 10, 11 pounds heavier. Wrist straps, belt, all that. So I'm actually really happy with that. And I feel like that's continuing to come up. And I feel like if I just keep pushing the pause reps, I keep building my incline to get those triceps up. I feel like the incline really does a lot for me there. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But yeah, we've got client vlogs. I put up a vote for you guys earlier, right? We put up a vote. People voted for their favorite out of the 3 ones, you know. So this is kind of where I want to go. Am I going to still do some current events? You bet. Am I going to address the fake natties? You bet. You bet. Stronger. I was strongest in my about 27-ish, honestly, Medi. But Medi, let's ignore all that. I'll get to that in a minute. I am never going to discuss again my strength before I started filming, before smartphones existed, because people are going to call you a liar. They're going to argue. If I haven't done it with calibrated plates on camera, I am just not going to mention it. And I think that's fair. But let's get over to some of your comments, guys. But yeah, that's the way everything's going, and I've been pretty happy with it. No, I'll do a vegan games later. Pepper says blood for the blood god. Let me just go down the road. Blood for the blood gods, skulls for the throne of corn. It's corn with a KH. JT says, let's go. Coach live early today. Yeah, it's a little early. Got some stuff I want to get done later tonight. I need to knock this out. I do got some chicken going in the oven though. I just started. They take like an hour. So me getting in and doing this kind of is right about the time I need to get that out. Hey, Coach, what do you think of training chest with biceps and back? Then, what do you mean? I mean, you could if you want to do a full upper body day. It's a lot. I prefer to split it up more. Your 325 for 3 bench was dialed in. I was happy with it, dude. I mean, because I got solid pauses on everything. I mean, it felt like about a 3 rep max. I don't know that I had a 4th rep. The real good chance I would have got stapled. All right. But I'm happy with it. I want to keep bringing that up. Like the next goal, I want to get 330 for 3, 335 for 3, right? We want to keep bringing that up. And I think if I keep pushing the incline, the incline work really, really hard, I get fantastic carryover to my flat bench from that because of where I stick, especially if I keep pushing those extensions and get stronger at those. So get that lockout strength up, get the incline stronger. I think I'll be in a good spot. So Medi, the strongest I've been on camera was what, about 3 years ago or so? But I was also weighing a lot more, dude. I mean, I was pushing 240, right? I had a 365 close grip, that 605 camber bar squat. I did 635 deadlift. I did 625 on a deficit. Thoughts on reverse hyper single arm rows for someone without dumbbells? I don't know about that. It seems a little strange. Madia says, good evening, Jason. Can I ask you a thing about dieting? Is a clean bulk the best option for a skinny fat for getting shape? Yeah, dude. Clean, slow bulk. You don't need to gain weight fast, dude. As long as you just gain lean weight. It can be slow. You're going to get there eventually. You're going to get there eventually. We got some veins today, guys. What do you guys think? Got a few veins popping out. How's the forearms looking today? They all right? How are we going to rate the forearms today? Give me on a scale of 1 to 10 here, guys. Where we at? I'm going to go with hard and vascular like a cock out of 10. All right. No, Madia, take your time. Just slow bulk up, eat super clean foods, lots of protein, gain a pound a month. You'll be fine, dude. Just take your time. Don't gain fat. Remember the videos, the training sessions from the English shed? You're pretty strong back then. Yeah, I wasn't as strong as I am now, though. It was pretty decent, though. I feel like I'm a little better now. I was also 12 years younger. Could good mornings replace a deadlift? No, but good mornings are a phenomenal exercise. Coach, you look like you're ready to get back on the platform. I would, if I were to get on the platform next week, I would hit meet PRs. Straight up. Based off my gym list, I'd walk in and hit meet PRs, no problem. And I wouldn't even have to water cut because I'm walking around at 217. All right. Is it right that peak strength reaches late 20s, mid 30s? Depends on the person, but usually. I just had 500 grams of chicken thigh. I like chicken breast, but I think the thighs and drumsticks taste a lot better, more calories. Yeah, that's true. Thoughts on blending chicken and drinking it as a shake? Jefferson, that is disgusting, dude. That is gross, man. Just eat your chicken like a normal person. Why can you squat a lot more on a camber bar? I don't squat that much more. I was pushing the camber bar at the time and those squats were high. But Kale, do you not remember that around the same time I hit like 560 with the cambered bar? Right? Do you remember that? Like the cambered squat bar. I also did 550 on a back squat that same month. Do you forget that? Why'd you never try strongman? I have no interest in it. What do you think of one arm behind the neck bar? What? Hey, Jason. Just made this account to thank you for the recent videos. My brother was an avid bodybuilder, recently passed away. Working out in the gym has definitely helped me heal. Hey, bro, getting under a barbell, man, will help you with a lot of things. It'll help you with trauma. It'll help you with grief. I am sorry for the loss of your brother. I truly am. I don't know you, but man, the fact that you made the account to tell me that, I know that you were in a lot of pain. I am sorry for your loss. What I will say as someone who's loved family members that I love, it does get better with time. Okay. It takes time to heal, but you will get there. Pepper, yeah, I've seen people who make spinach and broccoli shakes too. I love those veggies, but I don't know if I can drink them in liquid form. I know, right? Jefferson, how can I get comfortable to share my issues with a therapist? I'm very closed off in my sessions. Maybe you need a therapist you're more comfortable with. Jefferson, it might be that particular therapist you're struggling to open up to. You might want to ask them and see if that's the issue, if they have a colleague they can refer. How much strict press is a 220? The strict press isn't a rated exercise like that, I don't think. Are your arms measuring? They're just over 16 cold now. They could be coming up though. Now that I'm pushing stuff. Bill, thank you for the donation. You are most welcome for the gyms, brother. Thaddeus, so just a little calorie surplus and good protein sources are the best way. Thank you very much. I'm starting to learn about fitness, and every advice is gold right now. Thaddeus, keep that protein high, keep that protein super high. The higher you keep your protein, the easier it is to make lean gains. So yeah, keep that protein high, eat clean, healthy food. Try to make sure that you're eating foods that don't give you any nutrient deficiencies, right? Quality carbs, quality fat. Make sure you get in your fruits and vegetables and a very, very, very small surplus, dude. I'm talking tiny. Like if you gained a pound or less a month, you're still in a really good place for lean gains. You ever do those 20 rep squats again? Man, I don't think so, dude. Those things floored me. That those 300 plus 20 rep squats are beyond. Dude, those were so exhausting. I'm gonna I stick for all my rep work. I'm gonna stick to the machines. I really like the belt squat right now. The way I've got it set up. Finally, I feel like it's dialed in. It's carrying over to my squat. Dude, those 20 rep squats after maxing were crazy. I don't know what I was thinking. How bloody do you like your steak? I like steak blue or rare when I go out. Uh, but it's not technically bloody. It's protein. Veins for the dames, right? We got the veins popping today. Well, the cold front's over, so they're not hiding. I'm 55. What's your best advice for week, 3 a week sessions, health, aesthetics, minimal injury? I do a 3-day push pull legs, moderately heavy squat, bench, deadlift to start. Do everything else like 8 to 12 reps for hypertrophy. Focus on good form. You don't need more than about 10 sets of muscle group at the most for what you're doing. That way you don't get overuse issues. Technique. Keep your form dialed in. Form over ego for at your age. And that's what I would recommend. If you were to hire me as a coach right now, Gio, and I have spots open, that is probably what I'd put you on. Do you watch any sports? Do you think it's a waste of time? No, I mean, if you enjoy sports, I don't watch many sports, but if they bring joy to your life and you enjoy watching sports, I don't think it's a problem, especially if it's a social thing for you. Like if you have friends and family you like to watch sports with, and that's a social event for you, oh, by all means, carry on. Is it right that strict press builds brutal strength? Maybe. I don't know that it really builds more strength than the deadlift or the bench. How can I calculate gaining 1 pound a month? If you might fall a little short, it's going to be very slow, but that's okay. So what if it's slow? At least it's all lean. We don't have real evidence that a significant calorie surplus actually causes faster muscle growth. So my question is, if you're worried about it being too slow or you too lean right now, then I wouldn't sweat it. Don't get in a hurry, dude. Lean gains are fine. Super slow gains are fine. Recomping is fine. Jefferson, the past few weeks I've had a bad pain in my shoulder blades, and I'm also my delts. I think is from the bench press. You need to fix your form. If those areas are hurting from your bench, it's a technique issue. Did you watch my whole video I did sitting down the other day? I had one sit down video. I put it up. You check it out. I went through all of that as far as how your grip and how you brace and everything on the bar will affect your shoulder health on the bench. Like it was a very detailed video. It's been in the last couple of weeks. Why incline bench better than flat bench for a fighter? I don't know if it's better, but I feel like for aesthetics, man, the incline bench works wonders. I've become a big fan of the incline bench over the years. And it's not just from the aesthetics perspective. All my strongest pound for pound benchers I've ever coached were really good at the incline. It felt like the incline carried over for them. So for Perry, remember you guys saw him benching like 425, 430. Dude, he was 200 pounds. Okay. Doug was hitting a 365 pause bench weighing 180, but they were strong as hell on the incline. Right. When reaching your squat, bench, deadlift goals, what do you usually do if you feel if you hit a plateau? Gain more muscle. Coach, do you respect competitive eating as a sport? No. Jason, do you like weighted planks or side planks? Not really. Geo Power, I appreciate it. The donation. Thank you, Coach. Your advice is exactly what I'm currently doing. Nice. It sounds to me like you have been paying attention. So all good, man. But Geo, if you need coaching, let me know. But it sounds like you're already taking the good advice. You might be okay. But the offer's still out there. As far as weighted planks or side, I used to do some weighted planks. They're just a pain to set up by yourself. I don't think they're a bad exercise at all. I like hanging leg raises more, but I think that they're good. Are dumbbell curls superior to a barbell curls? No, but they do hit some stuff different. They do give you a freedom of movement that you don't get with the barbell. But I think the barbell is a solid base builder, like because it's a big compound where you can move some pretty good weights. So I'm a fan of the barbell curl first, but a super close second is going to be those standing dumbbell curls. What's a realistic 1-year goal for someone currently benching 85 times 4? I don't have one because I don't know how long you've been training, what you're doing with your stuff. It can really vary. I don't know how I would set that. I need to see what your training response looks like over the year before. How do you feel about high rep arm work, 10 to 20 reps versus 10 to 25? I don't know that I've ever got much out of that. 8 to 10, probably a little better overall. What is your current calorie deficit target? It's not. It's just lowering my carbs. I still don't go under 3,500 calories. I get some nutrient partitioning from fasting. That's how I've lost all this fat. It hasn't even technically been from running lower calories. Not really. And I know that sounds like a contradiction, but there's a method to the madness. Someone said incline is better than flat for hand fighting positions. I don't know about that. Coach favorite GPP. I'm thinking of implementing kettlebell swings. I don't know that I have a favorite. I think kettlebell swings are good. I've done them in the past. If you like them, then run with it. Okay, here's the thing with GPP. Do the GPP that you know you're going to do consistently. And if you really like kettlebell swings, then swing the hell out of that kettlebell. The Vino says, have been having great results with it. Oh, with a really high rep? I haven't got that much when I tried to do it. It just feels like I burn out. I mean, I guess other than the band work. Coach, do you recommend full range of motion for dumbbell chest press? Yes. Geopower will do, sir. Thank you. You are most welcome. Man, we got a pretty solid little turnout going here. What age did you start lifting, Maddie? I did a whole video breaking that down because that's a super complicated, confusing question. Because I did a little lifting off and on that I literally forgot about till I started thinking about it. And so again, serious lifting would have been early 20s, but I did a little off and on for short times before, like even in a middle school class, we had a weightlifting class and so on. So I did a whole video breaking that down in detail. But if we want to say actually really trying to lift, getting in a real gym, not just a dumbbell here or there at home or something, early 20s. So I've been at it about 25, 26 years. Thoughts on doing 2 to 4 sets to failure per muscle group? I think that's a little bit on the low side. And going to failure may not give you anything over a rep in reserve is debatable. I think 2 sets is too little. How long have you been training your client, Justin? Approximately 5.5 years, rough estimate. It's been past 5 years. I would need to look up exactly if it's been exactly 5.5, but roughly. Why was closed benching easier for you than wide grip when you hit? Because my chest was undersized and I did more tricep work and I hadn't been doing wide grip because it used to hurt my shoulders when I was younger. Now I've got it mastered of how to do it pain-free, which is why I'm way out here benching. But you've seen me 365 for a 2-count pause out wide, right? Done it on camera before. Hey, Jason, I paused bench 320 at 180 today. Is this good for a natty? Dude, that's phenomenal. For a 180-pound natty, 320 pause bench is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. You are way ahead of the curve. You're easily in the top 1% for your weight for a natty of actual gym goers. Incline for punching power. Now, there can be a degree of truth to that, Edward. I'm not going to argue against that, especially if you think about the angles. Not a bad choice. So you quit your, no, I didn't quit on my high volume. Certain muscles are still getting high volume. I'm having to balance it with the GPP. So it's all about how much total work are we doing per week. I've added some conditioning back in. So I am being very, very careful with the volume on my really big exercises. All right. What kind of progress did client Justin have on squat bench deadlift in terms of numbers? We were right at, he was at around a 400 squat when he hired me. We got him up to 520 at his strongest. Took about 3 years to get from 400 to 520. Deadlift, we put about 90 to 100 pounds on it, so on and so forth. Keep in mind, he's gotten leaner and more chiseled the entire time. Like his physique has improved year after year after year because he hasn't really gone over about 190 pounds. All right. Coach on a roll today, great positivity. I'm going to keep it positive, and I'm going to avoid some of that other stuff because, guys, that took a big toll on me emotionally. To discuss that other stuff, I'm going to just chill with that for a bit. We're going to focus on the positive. Let's focus on helping people. Let's focus on clients, vlogs, lifting. Let's focus on getting strong, jacked, lean, getting cock diesels, help everybody get their goals, and staying injury-free. All right, what kind of progress? Let's see. Thoughts on farmers walks and how would you incorporate them? I like farmers walks. I like them for a lot of guys at the end of training sessions if they're going to do them. I've done them on camera in the past. I have farmers walks handles. So that's usually how I do. I've always been a closed bencher, even when I was doing meets, all my 500 plus benches. Yeah, you're the outlier though, Lavino. I'm not saying I haven't seen. I've seen other guys like that. Coach, how do you know when you have a gifted lifter on your hands? You know. So instead of doing sets of deadlift failures, better for recovery. Hey, honey, I don't see what you're getting at. Move on. I didn't do it to failure. All right. Well, it was nice to stay here for a bit. Got to go now. Keep up the work, man. Have a good one, dude. Coach, I could tell that it was difficult for you. I was emotional at times listening to those lives back, so I can't imagine. Yeah, and Peppermint, that's why I'm not going to talk about it for just a little bit. I said what I needed to say, but that is emotionally very, very difficult. Jefferson says, since the clavicular head of the pectoralis major attaches to the medial clavicle and flexes the shoulder joint, why don't more people with upper chest weaknesses use closed grip bench with a deep stretch? That's a good question. Is it important to bring your shoulder blades back? Yeah, you should have them retracted, Wes. Jay is right. He says he's talking about the gifted lifter. It's kind of obvious you go to the gym on a regular basis. Some people make gains way easier than others. Yep. Wes says, indeed, those lives the past few days were intense, which is why I'm gonna just chill for a bit on those because I have to emotionally kind of bounce back from that. That's a lot. Close grip incline is arguably go for upper chest. It's a good choice, Jefferson. I tore my left pec over a decade ago, and this is what likely brought about my more narrow grip. It's where some dumbbell work and incline work and stuff will help prevent that. But again, you were benching 500 plus, you said, so I mean, this stuff happens, dude. Also, I would say, what was your stack like? How much trend and stuff was in there? Honey, that wasn't failure, though. Failure means you fail a rep. Hey, Wes, I don't want to go into all that anymore. Can we not bring that up? I do need a break from that, please. It wasn't a failure. Yeah, it wasn't a failure. But I also only did one set. Notice we did one set. And I said, yep, that was enough. So then we stopped deadlifting, and then I went over to easier to recover from work. So that's a perfect example of what we're talking about mitigating volume. Jason, what do you think about the guys in the gym that do nothing but bench press and arms, and they're also fat and overweight? I think that's silly. Thoughts on Nassim Taleb and his approach? I've never heard of him. No idea who that is, dude. Sorry. So therefore, I have no thoughts. I think his name is Nassim. Hey, Jefferson, I'm not going to run a political channel. I'm not saying we should fully trust those agencies, but when they've got good data to back things, I mean, a perfect example, Jefferson, do you think the WHO is lying about alcohol being carcinogenic? I mean, biologically, can you not look at it and tell that it is? Like, do you need them to even tell you when we have plenty of research to prove it? See the issue with some of that? So that's what I've had people argue. How do you believe the WHO about alcohol? I'm like, because there's plenty of meta-analysis from the leading experts in cancer around the world who have found it, and that's where they got the data. I mean, you don't have to trust the WHO. You can trust the data at that point, right? Whereas in some of those other things you mentioned, did we have long-term meta-analysis to look at those things? No, we didn't have good data. So understand the difference. Jason, we have talked about sport. What are your thoughts on sumo versus conventional? I've done extremely detailed videos on that in the past of when I've had lifters rotate through them. I've coached a lot of both. They're just slightly different lifts. Jason, I live on the northeastern coast. Do you have any creative ways to do cardio from my home gym? I don't know. It depends on how your setup is. Okay. Hey, Jason, I saw LA Fitness is charging close to $60 a month for new members. Hey, Wes, I kind of asked you to please, let's not go into that anymore today. Please respect the fact that I've asked you to not discuss it today so that I don't have to read through that. Can we please do that? I'm going to ask you politely to delete your comment. Mainly because, again, that was really taxing for me the last couple of days. So I'm going to politely ask you to delete your own comment. All right. Jason, I saw LA Fitness is charging close to $60 a month for new members now. Meanwhile, most big commercial gyms are still $30 a month or less is just good. Or what? I thought most good gyms are more than $30 a month. 50 to 60 is pretty normal for even a good strength gym, at least down here. Hey, Jason, is there a trend online of younger lifters saying anything over 5 reps isn't optimal and only causes fatigue, even on lifts like lateral raises? Yeah, that's nonsense. In all fairness, lots of things are more carcinogenic than alcohol, not things that we consume regularly, not stuff that people are consuming to the same degree that they do alcohol. Just because things are more carcinogenic doesn't mean they're a regular part of people's diets. Okay, so that's kind of a straw man. This chat is hopping. This is great. It is. It's popping along really good. Vino, maybe it's my area. It could be Jay. Wait, so what part of the country are you in? The engagement is great. Yeah, dude, the engagements are good. Likes are decent. People are asking questions. We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. Chat's popping. Veins are popping. Yeah, exactly, Jefferson. Not a lot of things cause so much horrible things in society like drunk driving, spouse abuse, violence, as much as alcohol. Although carcinogenic properties are just reason 1,001 to not drink. Exactly. And as someone who literally had a friend burn alive when hit by a drunk driver, trapped in the seatbelt, burned alive, I tend to hold that view. And guess what, guys? I'm coming up on my 6 years. The 17th will represent of this month will be the 6 years ago that I had my last drink. I'm almost at 6 years. All right. I go to an old school gym. We have 2 guys who formerly trained at Westside. Nice. Camera says, if I lean bulking and trying to gain 1 to 1.5 pounds a month, how much should I gain in a week? A few ounces. Alcohol is a really weird thing because the culture around drinking has been a part of Western civilization for thousands of years. It has. Yeah. And yet tons of religions realized it was a problem. Like we've known it's a problem. But there's a culture around it. At 55, how's these numbers, Natty? At 5'11", 210, bench 285, dead 475, squat 345, all in a home gym. Those sound pretty solid to me, dude. Then you factor in peer pressure, social events based around it. Yep, exactly, Jay. That's why I hold strong with it. Try living in the UK and not drink people you like you're an alien. I lived there for 3 years. What do you think of donating blood to keep hemocrite down? I think it's awesome. Or just blood dumping, either way, if they can't take your blood. If you have the option to donate, then yeah. The WHO is, for example, yeah, but honey, so you go look at the data and determine what type of red meat. It's not steak, it's the processed red meats. Sausage, bacon, lunch meat, and that stuff is pretty carcinogenic. It's more carcinogenic than alcohol on a dose per dose basis. But those things are carcinogenic. The data shows it. But it's not your steak that's doing it. It's the bacon. It's the sausage. It's that stuff. But it's the processed red meat. It's not necessarily just because it's red meat. Mark Lowbladder says donating blood isn't actually healthy. I don't know about that claim. That seems a bit sus. Do you cover some of these psychological effects anabolics have on people? Some close to me has changed a lot because of it. And I fear what he might do to someone. Yeah, it depends on the drugs. Tren is notorious for those problems. Testosterone, not so much. People 1,000 years have known alcohol is bad for you. They just didn't know why. I think this is why there's some religious taboos associated with it. There's a lot of religious taboos associated with it. I mean, there's some religions that forbid it completely. I mean, Islam, as an example, is completely forbidden in Islam, to my knowledge. Like, they're not supposed to have any. Source of debate in Christianity depends on which interpretation you run with. I'm not going to get into that argument, but a lot of historians argue that the wine that Jesus was talking about was not actually alcoholic. But that's a source of great debate. What do you think of Matt Winning as a good coach? I have my love and hate with Matt Winning. I think Matt does a whole lot of trendy nonsense and hides stuff behind paywalls. I think he's a great coach. But I think he pushes a whole lot of nonsense too, just to be different sometimes. It's my opinion. Trend story, I knew of an Indian guy who went to hookah bars. Anyway, he wanted to go to the gym with asking a road user there about drugs, and he said he wanted to use Trend. I don't know. Trend and sausage are much worse than alcohol, so shouldn't that be? What do you mean they're much? Well, dose for dose, they're not. They're not much worse than alcohol, but they're not good for you. Alcohol is considerably worse, dude. Think in terms of quantity here. But no, bacon and sausage are not good for you. So what are you trying to argue, honey boo boo? Are you telling me that you want to sit around eating bacon and drinking whiskey all day? You can do that, but don't pretend that it's healthy or it's not going to kill you. I mean, you're free to do what you want, dude. It's your body. But don't lie to us and yourself about it. Did you enjoy that bit of equiplifting you played with? No, I didn't at all. I think it's fun to play with. Dude, no. Man, all it does is cut you up. It's a pain in the butt. I didn't really like it. My friends did. You know. Yeah, Jefferson, I don't know where he's getting that from. Yeah, alcohol is horrific. Like, it's probably the worst thing any of us regularly put into our bodies on a regular basis. Unless you're a heroin addict or something. Coach, are cigars healthier than cigarettes? No, you shouldn't be doing that either. No, I don't condone smoking of any tobacco. I mean, do you want mouth cancer? Why? Why do you want that nasty thing in your mouth, dude? They stink. They make your breath stink, and they give you mouth cancer. All right. Like, I don't understand the appeal at all. At least I understand why people smoke weed. They get high from it. The cigar is just this nasty, stinky thing. All right. Honey, it is extremely cancerous. It is extremely carcinogenic. That's not even subject to debate. Were the shirts actually fitted? We did them based on measurements. Coach, what's your calorie totals daily? 3,500 to 4,000. But minimum 3,500 a day. All right. Jam honestly makes people under the age of 40 smoke at all. I mean, I get why older people did. They had a cultural influence. There's not that today. I mean, and I have friends who smoke. And so, I mean, it is what it is. Then they're trying to quit. Like one of my really close chick friends, she smokes. She's trying to quit though. Do you think vaping is worse than smoking? I don't know if it's worse or better. It's pretty bad though. Hey, honey, are you really still arguing it? Have you gone and looked at the research? Are you arguing with me or are you going to go argue with the researchers? Go look at the research. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. It's insanely carcinogenic. I think it's one of the worst, newest trends about vaping because you can carry it anywhere and take a puff without really bothering anyone. Yeah, it's trendy because of that probably. Drinking lots of milk completely got rid of all my acid reflux that I usually get bad with 19 hours. Any idea why milk seems to cure acid reflux? Possibly was it whole milk? Possibly the fat absorbing? I don't know. I'm not really sure. I respect people who smoke real cigarettes. I don't. Why? How significant is the risk of a bicep tear on the supinated hand mixed grip deadlift? I want to ditch the straps. It's not significantly higher risk. I mean, it's higher, but the same form that will tear your bicep with a mixed grip will eventually tear it with straps, double overhand also. It's still caused by the same cause. It's just easier to tear it. Does that make sense? Guys still tear their biceps double overhand with straps using the same form that tears them underhand grip. You know that, right? Pull the slack out of the bar. Do not pull with a bent elbow. Do not have slack in the bar when you pull. Kind of dogmatic. What's a dogmatic view? No, it's called looking at the research and looking at what it does in the body. It sounds like you got an alcohol problem that you don't want to come to terms with. Which steroids cause ligament atrophy? It's not atrophy, it's weakening of the cross bridges, potentially Winstrol. Tren is notorious for causing tendon ruptures. Just keep the elbow locked out. It should be fine. Yeah, but you can't keep the elbow locked out if you have slack. You'll get. Okay. Have you watched how I pull? Do you watch it? There's no slack in the bar when I pull. I wedge in every rep. So I'm pulling up already with tension on the bar before I wedge forward on every single rep. Okay. You can try to lock the elbow, but if you drop too low and get loose, you will have slack. You will bend that elbow. Okay. That is the trick to it. Do I need to do some extra technique videos on the deadlift where I just set up and get the camera out and talk to the camera? I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, it's whole milk. I figured it was the calcium or magnesium. It might be the magnesium. I know about pulling the slack out and record on my sets too. I feel like it's just not truly, it's not raw with straps. I agree. And that's okay. Yeah, no, I feel comfortable mixed gripping these days. But what I need to work on is a little more vascularity. I feel like I could use a few more veins, you know what I mean, guys? So if anyone's curious, like, why are your veins popping out? Because it's warm outside. That's literally why they're popping out more now. It's 80 degrees outside. The cold makes my veins shrink. For quad hypertrophy volume, what exercise having a home gym unilateral work? Unilateral work. I like having my belt squat, and I use my reverse hyper as a leg extension, and it works. My quads are getting pretty dang jacked right now. Is there any cure for my lactose intolerance? No. You can just drink lactose-free milk. I mean, like the Mutopia I do has no lactose. You can get any of those. Or as the press is traditionally called. Cool. I don't even remember what I was in those. Those are way back. But I need to cover some new ones on the deadlift. Are one-hand barbell holds enough to train grip for RDLs? Possibly. Possibly. Just train your grip, dude. Lots of pulling without stuff. Hanging from a bar. Yeah, Fairlife's is great. So the Mutopia I buy is HEB's version of Fairlife. It's made the same way. It's an ultra processed, same macros. Was it in a professional setting? Yes. Hey, honey, did we just say we're not going to talk about all that today? Didn't you hear me say that? I'm just saying you're arguing about alcohol. Now you're bringing that up when I said that we were not going to cover those today. So it sounds to me like you are a troll. So do I ban you? I've got my finger on the button with it pulled over the ban. Do I ban him or not? What do you guys think? Saying he's trying to argue alcohol is not carcinogenic. Data says it's extremely. Now he's bringing that up when I just said earlier, we're not discussing that today. I think you're going to have to go, honey boo boo. Do you know who's next on the natty or not list? I got about 12 names. I need to pick one. No, I haven't had it the same. The UK milk gave me diarrhea every time. Even when I drank the protein shakes that were manufactured in the UK, I got diarrhea within 15 minutes every time. Now I'm not going to give him one more chance. I gave him some other chances. He already seemed a little trolling. Coach, how do you train when you go on holiday? Oh, I know you're British. Vacation, or do you just take a rest? Depends. I don't really do that many, so I don't really have an answer to that. Probably in the future, though, if I do need to travel, I'll just go to local gyms. During the week, do you add in walks, runs, sprints, sleds? I do weight vest walking with a 50-pound weight vest. I vlog it on the between Facebook and YouTube. I vlog most of it. So I go take brisk walks in a 50-pound weight vest, at least 5 days a week right now. I lift 6 days a week though. But I don't recommend most people do that. A lot of my client blogs are those guys are training 3 days a week and they're strong and jacked. With all your muscle making, you heavier. I did when I was at a higher weight. That's why I cut down originally a few years back. I was chasing some bigger numbers. I started having really serious sleep apnea in my 240s, and I'm like, I'm not doing this, and it's not worth dying for. So I trimmed down. I'm at 217 right now. Do you have a favorite power lifter? Myself. Coach, I notice as I get stronger and more jacked that things like banging into furniture doesn't hurt that much. Yeah, dude. One of my guys, he's like, Coach, I rolled down and fell down some stairs. I rolled down several flights of stairs the other day, and I got up with just some bruises and messed up skin, but no injury. He's like, dude, lifting really works. We laughed about it. There's truth to that. There's truth to that. Right? It also gives you veins. You guys might have noticed. Was Kurt Kowalski impressive? Kurt Kowalski is one of the GOATs. What do you mean, was he impressive? I don't know, dude. 1,000-pound squat. Squatting 1,000 pounds and just some old school knee wraps. I think that's pretty impressive. Anyone want to disagree? There are people who are like, dude, he wasn't shit. That's nothing. I got a cousin who can do 1,200 and he's still in high school. Swiss bar, useful. It can have its uses, I think, especially for people with certain shoulder issues. The Vino says, I'm out. Nice chat, Coach. Take care. Take care, Vino. I don't have to announce your exit. He can announce. It's like an airport in here sometimes. It's all good. It's all engagements, man. And it's friendly engagements. Notice now we're at that point in the lives where I can get rid of the trolls, and now the lives have picked back up. People are used to them. My subscriber count has gone up a bunch from these lives. Now we're getting positive lives all of a sudden without getting into crazy stuff. Funny how this works. Oh, man. Oh, man. Solid stuff. All right. Get some good stuff. I had a couple of them that were non-trolly with 1,000 views now, and they're going up. We're going to get more of those. So let's keep it positive. And I'm still going to do, except we're going to do current events. We're going to do call outs. They're still going to be part of it. We're going to call out the natties, the fake natties. We're going to need to call out some BS in the industry. Coach always 2 steps ahead. Also, guys, I have multiple coaching slots open. I'm going to run them at 200 for a while. And then I'll probably raise prices when I'm at a point where supply and demand shifts again. But if you guys want coaching, it's there. I've also been doing a lot of consultations. I do consultations, an hour of my time, cover any topic that you need. It's $100. Most people get a lot out of them. Again, cover your gear stuff, your blood work, look at your programming. I sit down and write full programs with people over their hours. Sometimes we map them out. So hit me up, guys. Do you ever physically crave the taste? No, I didn't. It was the inhibition that I craved. Like, I never enjoyed the taste other than maybe red wine and stuff, but I could drink grape juice and get that. Coach, you plan on working out? I'm still having to resolve that. I've talked to some people at Meta. I have the blue check mark now on the page. So I was hoping that would help, but I think some of it I'm going to have to adjust slightly when I'm doing. It had picked up quite a bit, right? Like, it had picked up quite a bit a few months ago, and then it dropped back off again. It was looking really prospective. I was sitting there going, man, my Facebook could be making thousands of dollars again a month soon, but it didn't. So all I'm going to say is when those memes were hitting, I had some crazy months. The problem is they hammered me so hard on the taxes. Like, the taxes are insane off of the Facebook money. I'm talking like paying 40% of it to the IRS. So it's like you'll make $10,000 in 1 month when it's really hitting hard, but then you owe $3,500 to $4,000 to the IRS for that month. So that's been the problem. No, it's pretty slow right now, though. But I think eventually I'll get it picked back up. I'm having to study some stuff with the algorithm. Like everyone in the industry turned their back on you, but half these guys ran your novice programs, and half of them are still weak. Coaches up here 48, squatting 500, doing rep work 325 on the bench, no wrist wrap, all raw, by the way. Other dudes trying to talk, and they're young and with elbow sleeves. Like, come on, guys, get your raw numbers. Pulled 550 for 4 today with chalk and a belt. Kapow. Do you recommend Facebook? Yeah, if you can get outreach. Are there exercises in theory if your neck got too big? I don't understand how people still follow these fitness professionals, right? I mean, they're not giving good advice. I'm over here trying to give people the advice that's going to help them, right? I'm over here trying to help people. It's like, for me, it is about, guys, I have 25 years of experience. I've learned a lot of things. Let me help you, right? Let me help you. Like, exactly, Gio. That's the point I'm showing, guys. I'm closing in on 50. I'm squatting 500 injury free with no sleeves. We're just raw dogging it, guys. So as far as attributing to lack of injuries, paying attention to overuse, paying attention to technique, knowing when to back down. Okay, listening to your body, really assessing stuff. When I start ego lifting on stuff, having to step back and reassess and go, you know what? I really am short stroking these reps to move more weight. I need to fix this. All right, I'm starting to feel a little inflammation over here. Let's back the volume down 30%. Let's stay in shape. Another big one, don't rely on too much extra equipment. Don't rely on sleeves. I think sleeves and stuff get people hurt eventually because they cut off circulation. You ignore inflammation. You ignore pain. You got to learn to listen to your body. Okay, diet. Keep your protein high. Keep your antioxidants high. You have to control that inflammation because this is what gets you hurt. People don't think about inflammation and injuries either. They spend a lot of time saying, oh yeah, inflammation, yeah, because of this and that. Like, you do know that higher inflammation in your body, you do know that's going to contribute to tendon ruptures and stuff in the gym too, potentially, right? Jeremy Ether's a clown. Is Jeff Nipper the only science-based guy? Jeff actually gives pretty good advice. Like, I don't find myself really disagreeing with Nippert a lot. Like, I may not always like everything about his approach, but factually speaking, Nippert is pretty on the money on a lot of stuff. You know, I would say he's one of the better guys out there. 550 for 5 on your 50th birthday. On the deadlift. I don't know. I'm not that far away from that now, but man, that would be a cool one. That would be nice, wouldn't it? 555 for 5 reps on the 50th birthday. That would be cool. There was this dumbass at the gym in his early 30s. He was bragging to me about literally blowing out his knees on squats. Like, what? Inflammation, smart man, Geo. It matters, dude. So I tell guys, eat your vegetables, keep your protein high, watch your antioxidant status, avoid inflammatory foods. True about gym equipment. I see people wearing wraps doing seated cat. Oh my God. Jeremy Heather has no place giving, but he's a novice. I agree. I don't know. Mike Israel is so polarizing till recently. Looks like he has his own strong fan base. He also has a lot of haters. Mike does a lot of BS too. How many clients do you have like Justin who are stronger? Is Justin not really stronger than me though? I'd beat him right now to powerlifting meet. I pulled more than him. I benched more than him. His squat's good though. I've had clients way stronger than me, Dan. Hey, Dan, how many 700-pound deadlifters have you seen me show in the past? Have you seen me put up clients doing 615 squats with no reps? I put up clients benching 420, 430, 400 plus, multiple clients over the years. So why are we using Justin? Let's use the really strong guys. Justin's a sub 200-pound natural. He's got an amazing physique and he's a hell of an athlete and he's strong though. And Justin is awesome. I don't know current. We had to take like 6 weeks off completely from leg training because he had something not gym related. We couldn't train legs for just a short bit. So we only recently started. So I bet you his squat's probably only in the mid 400s right now. His deadlift's probably mid 500s at the moment. Benching, his best bench has been like 310. But we hit 315 on the floor press. Keep in mind, he's a lean guy with 190. He can bang out weighted pull-ups, though. Coach, my squat is almost the same as my deadlift. Is this a problem? Potentially. Hey, Jason, after all these years, every once in a while, I go back to some of your videos. You clowning Jesse and Matthew next. Those videos are funny. Yeah, TY, it could be true. His squats may not be to depth. But Justin is strong. Justin's definitely strong. Ramsey's had one. I missed it. Whenever I go lower reps, like 3 by 5 or 5 by 5, my shoulder hurts and never reach higher weight than 80 kilograms in 2 years. You need to look at your form. Your bench form needs to be fixed, Ramsey's. Your form is off. You're not stacking your wrist. You're not breaking the bar. That's why your shoulders are hurting on the bench. How many currents do you have that are stronger than you at this exact moment or historically? I don't think any of my current clients are stronger than me right now. I got some who are right in my range. As far as clients who their best lifts have beat my best lifts, I've probably had 7 or 8. So Ramsey's, I did a video on that. If you go check through, you'll see one of me sitting down where I go through why your shoulders hurt on the bench press and how to fix your grip and everything. It's within the last couple of weeks. It's a highly detailed video. Go watch that. It should be easy to find in my thing. So check stuff for like, do a keyword search for like grip bench press. Do you still incorporate hip thrust? Not lately. I was doing glute bridges with 600 pounds a while back though, but I cut them out. I don't need them at the moment. Seeing your clients catch up to you, it can be. I mean, I've had clients pass me straight up, dude. I mean, remember Doug? We had Doug benching 365 at 180, but he had like a 300 bench when he hired me. It was funny because he came and said in the comments, you guys remember that? Someone's like, he should be coaching you. And then he's like, my bench, he goes, I never was able to bench 315. I failed it every time I tried it for 2 years before I hired Jason. So he's like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. I thought you trained more advanced lifters than that. Don, I've had multiple clients who deadlift 700 plus. You've seen some of them on camera, right? Jason has said in the past that advanced lifters, it can, particularly as body fat goes up. Yes. Particularly when knee wraps and stuff come in the mix. What's the worst way to die in your opinion? I guess burning alive probably be up there. Which client had a 700? I had multiple clients with 700 deadlifts. Coach, how much of a jump is a 600 deadlift to a 17? Enormous jump. 600 to 700 is massive. We're not even in the same ballpark. Wes, you can go through, type in some stuff. There's a lot of them are in kilos. I mean, I literally have a guy doing 700 on like a deficit. It's somewhere in there. Might have been Luca. What are their names? We had, Brett at almost 700 at one time. He's had setbacks. I'm not coaching him at the moment. He got hurt really bad outside of the gym recently. We were getting him flowing again, and he had an accident completely unrelated to the gym. Ripped his groin, so he's out for a bit. But we had Brett at almost 700 pounds actually at one time. All right, I think I had him do something like 570 for 8 on camera once too. Can you explain seal rows a bit more? I know sometimes you say that they're fantastic because they remove the low back and force you to be strict. Nicola was up there. I don't know if we had any big deadlifts by Perry on film. I know I had Perry do a 615 back squat and it looked like a warm up. He went 680 in a meet about 6 months later, raw with no reps in the 220 class. Ripped his groin. No, don't use your imagination. Watch any good movies lately? Do you strike me as a movie guy? No, not really lately. I haven't seen anything fantastic. But I am a movie guy when I have time. I've been busy with a bunch of projects, though. What is it? Genetics, Dan. Hey, Dan, you've seen me pull 635, though, because I'm older. I mean, Dan, you've seen me pull 635. I mean, are we really going to pretend I'm a slouch on the deadlift? I did that in my 40s, homie. Hey, Coach Jason, how much reps with 60 kilograms strict overhead press equals 90? I don't know. I've heard it was pretty underwhelming. I've heard the same thing. Most movies today, you get some good ones every now and then. Hey, Dan, you saw that I barely missed the 619 at that same meet, right? Did you see the footage? Tried watching Napoleon and it was bad. I watched the original Texas Chain. Oh, man. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. All right. Are you looking to maybe eventually? Coach you likes, I'm not sure who that is. Sydney Sweet. I don't use sumo deadlift because I'm stronger conventional. Remember when I pulled sumo exclusively for 6 months and I came in and started PRing my conventional right after? Now, I like sumo. I messed with it some in the past. I used to rotate through. And I don't think it's bad to train both. Have you seen Chuck Vasher and the Grapefruit Bandit at all? I've met Kai Green in person. The dude is almost a midget. If it was up to you, would you ban sumo from comp? Yes. Notice how easy that was for me to say. I didn't hesitate. In your opinion, best 3 back exercises for bench strength and aesthetics. Best 3 back exercises. We're going to go weighted pull-ups, barbell rows, deadlifts. You ever met or seen Ronnie? Yes, I've met Ronnie Coleman. I've met Ronnie Coleman once in his prime, and I met Ronnie Coleman once in retirement. So, positive you don't want to discuss it. You ever seen? Yeah, Edward, we're not going to discuss that. And no one cares what that sociopath thinks. Hey, Dan, I'll go PR my next meet. I'll pull over 600 next time I step on the platform. Water cuts are a big factor, definitely. For muscle growth, is it necessary to lock out on bench press and shoulder press? Yeah, I think you should lock out on your bench. I think you should. People can argue against it. I think you should lock out. I look forward to seeing a powerlifter do the splits while moving the bar 1 millimeter during sumo deadlift, right? Especially with these bars today. As the bars get whippier. Who's a guy in the industry you're surprised that you actually like? I don't know. I can't think of that off the top of my head. I, in general, don't like the industry. Too many con men. And there's so much money to be made without selling supplements and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, Chris Lovato, but he's not really in the industry anymore. No, Lovato was really cool. No, we broed out. So he's a good dude. He was a good dude. And a lot of people don't like him, though. That's the funny thing. I know a lot of people who are like, dude, Lovato's an asshole. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. He was real cool with me. Like we laughed. We were making fun of people, though. Like we were being assholes making fun of people. So maybe I'm an asshole. Why are we talking about Jason Genova at all? Why are you talking about a mentally handicapped person who's disabled who shouldn't have been allowed on the internet to begin with? And his guardians finally realized that and pulled him off. I don't dislike the guy, but he shouldn't have been online. It wasn't about Blaha only. He's a bit of a road. He seems cool. Lovato. I mean, Lovato and I got along just fine. Thanks, Coach. I'm enjoying this evening. Awesome, man. What machines you miss it maybe from a commercial gym, like a leg press and a hack squat? Absolutely. Dude, if I had a hack squat, I'd be using it every leg day. I agree. I just recalled the Rich Piana, but Rich Piana was a horrible person. Objectively. Like anything people think they have on me, dude. But he's dead, so there's no point in really hashing it out. Just saying, I had multiple people tell me firsthand that he beat the holy hell out of them. Multiple. So when you have more than one woman tell you in a one-on-one conversation, well, 3-on-1 because her boyfriend was part of the conversation, one of them, that he beat them black and blue, and it's more than one, that's not good. And then he slapped a mentally handicapped person on camera. Just saying, guys. I think maybe he was a really violent person who liked to hurt people smaller and weaker than him. Like, that's not a good trait, guys. Is constant tension a bodybuilder myth? Yeah. Do you think Ogus lifetime Maddie? I don't know. I've met Ogus. We got along. Possibly not lifetime Maddie, though. I'm going to lean in the direction of no. I don't want to jump into that because we got along. I remember Mac Truck hit him. Who did Mac Truck hit? Did he hit Piana or did he hit? Did Mac Truck hit Piana? Man, I bet you there was collagen splattered all over the place. Do the lifters on Team Blaha who outlift you ever work harder than you? It's genetics. No, they don't work harder than me. You sucker punch them with an expert's Piana. I don't know. You know why dudes are over there fighting each other at expos and stuff anyway. They got better stuff. A bunch of grown men getting in fist fights. Bunch of thug stuff. Low-class thuggery. All of it. Trash. All right. We're past an hour, though. Past the hour. It's time to wind this down. So I hope it's been informative. Love all you guys and gals. Let's give you guys a Mount Bicep. Yes. Oh. Mount Vesuvius. And we're out.